everyone, it's Aggie and this is my UCAS tips video. As you know, I applied to the universities in the UK last year and I hope my experience with UCAS might help your application this year. My first tip is to get it done. Nobody wants to write a personal statement or to enter details into UCAS. It's quite tedious. But if you spend 1 hour every week, perhaps in a free period or in a free hour after school, you can get it done in a decent amount of time. For me, filling in the details took an unexpected amount of time because I had to dig out my certificates and decide if I wanted to put them in my personal statement or to put them in the details section. Also, for the address, I would recommend putting your home address instead of your school address, because the details that the university send out, including your offer letter, will be sent to the address that you put down. And there was always a 2 or 3 day delay because the school had to process the mail and then send it to me through my house. If you are in a boarding school and you won't go home until the holidays, then put your school address. But if you are, say, a weekly boarder, then put your home address. My second tip is for the personal statement. If you have no idea where to start, I would suggest just writing everything down first. Don't really worry about the 1,000 character word limit because that should come in later when you're editing. If you find that you have less than 1,000 characters when you haven't started editing yet, I would suggest write down more as possible. It's always easier to cut down instead of scaling up your piece of writing. Now, I've been to a lot of uni talks and they always recommend putting about 70 to 80% academic related statements, and the other part can be talking about ECAs or other things that you've been doing in your school. What you should consider first is why you want to study your course, what inspired you, why you are suited to the course, and why the course suits you. If you have work experience, that would be useful, and also the extracurriculars that you write down in your personal statement should be related to your course. So even if it's something like charity work or music, you can always relate it to details of your course. So for example, developing leadership skills or developing teamwork skills. So even if the activity itself is not related, you can always link it back to your course. One thing not to do is to write why you want to go to a particular university, because UCAS is for you to apply to 5 different universities. So if you write for one particular university, I don't think the other unis would really like that. Firstly, you have to make sure everything you write down is true. Double check and triple check. Are the phrases correct? Are the names of things correct? You don't want to write something down that is false or maybe inaccurate. Don't plagiarize. I know there are lots and lots of examples of personal statements on the internet, but try not to take more than 1 or 2 words out of things you read, because if you copy a whole sentence, that is plagiarism and it doesn't look very good on your application. What's okay to copy is short phrases and words that are very common, like to develop my interest, I enjoyed, I had the opportunity to, refining my skills in, reflecting on my strengths. These short phrases are kind of common and it's not like you're copying someone else's work. So those are okay to use, and I would encourage you to use more of those because it shows that you have a variety in your writing and you're not just saying either this, either that. In terms of cutting down your writing, I would say rank the order of importance of the things that you've written down. For me, I did a whole list of experiences or activities that I had done. And then I wrote down some personal qualities that I wanted to show, such as leadership, teamwork, time management, determination, creativity, problem solving, and passion in engineering because I applied for engineering. And then I made a sort of cross-matching list. And then the activities that had the most connections to, I put them down on my personal statement, and if they weren't very connected, then I didn't end up putting them in. I'd say don't worry about missing stuff. If you think you've done something that is important but you really have no space to write it in your personal statement, your school will write a reference, and you should always talk to your career counsellor or whoever is writing your reference and ask them to put them in, because they have a word limit and you have a word limit, and you don't want to waste space talking about the same kinds of things. So if you didn't manage to put it in your personal statement, you can always ask for it to be added into your reference. My last tip is to submit your application early. For me, I applied to Cambridge, so I had an earlier deadline anyway. That was on the 15th of October, but I ended up submitting my application at the end of September. I found that compared to people who were submitting their applications later, I got more offers and I got them earlier. Even if you're not applying to Oxbridge or medicine, I would still recommend getting it done early and submitting it early, because there's no point waiting really. You want to finish your UCAS application before Christmas so that you can spend your Christmas holidays relaxing, or maybe preparing yourself for the next term, where the bulk of your A-level knowledge will be taught. What you don't want to do is to have to worry about your UCAS over Christmas and have to rush to submit it before the deadline in January. For UCAS, I ended up applying to Cambridge for engineering, Imperial for electrical and electronic engineering, Durham for general engineering, UCL for electrical and electronic engineering, and Bath for electrical and electronic engineering. With these, Cambridge was my last offer because I had to attend an interview in December, but everything else I received an offer for before Christmas. So that was kind of better mentally, because it meant I could relax after I received all my offers and I didn't have to worry about them anymore. Those were my top tips for applying to UCAS. If you want to go to the United Kingdom for university, that is what everyone has to do. I wish you all good luck with your UCAS applications, and thank you for watching. Bye!